I mean, I thought, we were in foul trouble a lot out here. So we didn't have consistent rotations. We put them to the free throw line. We turned the ball over, got them some easy looks. I think we're better offensively and defensively than we were at that point, finding our way. And so, I think we're both different teams than we were at that moment. But all the attention to detail it has got to be there. We got to take care of the ball. We got to make sure that...
Watch that answer closely. Notice how Stephanie White carefully chooses every word, almost like she's stepping through a minefield. The pauses, the measured wording, and the way she shifts from basketball to the league's bigger picture all stand out. Before we break down all the details, this is Pulse Hoop, bringing you the latest WNBA breaking news, player updates, and the biggest stories from around the league. Make sure to subscribe to Pulse Hoop so you never miss the biggest WNBA stories and updates. This wasn't just a coach answering a question. It was someone who knew that whatever she said, a large part of the internet would react. And what happened after that press conference showed that, in today's WNBA media world, there may no longer be an easy answer.
Sports rallies that have been following you guys in Seattle, Portland, and have been reported to come to the next stops in Minnesota.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think, anytime there's peaceful protest, that's people's rights, certainly. I think, when we think about the WNBA in particular, we are an inclusive league. We're a league that welcomes everyone. We're a league that promotes diversity. We promote inclusion. And we're a league that has always been on the forefront of social change.
Right there, Stephanie White said the WNBA is an inclusive league that promotes diversity and welcomes everyone. It sounded like the kind of statement many leagues often make. But for some fans, it did not settle the debate because much of the discussion surrounding the Indiana Fever has centered on broader issues beyond basketball. When White spoke about inclusion, some supporters felt she was taking a position they disagreed with. That is what makes this situation so divisive. The Indiana Fever have the WNBA's largest social media following, largely because of Caitlin Clark. Millions of new fans have started watching women's basketball because of her, and many are still getting familiar with the league and its culture. A vocal group within that audience has expressed the view that transgender women should not compete in women's sports. Because of that, when White spoke about inclusion and welcoming everyone, some people interpreted her comments as supporting one side of that ongoing debate.
Peaceful protest is part of that as well. And so I think, one of the things that I love most about being in athletics and being on a team and being in a locker room is that you've got all kinds of people who come from all different walks of life, who come from all around the world, who bring a lot of different life experience and bring a lot of different perspectives into a locker room. And we learn a lot from one another. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, sometimes we agree to disagree. We're able to have difficult conversations.
This part is especially interesting. Stephanie White said, "We learn a lot from one another. Sometimes we agree, sometimes we disagree, and sometimes we agree to disagree." Her message seemed to be that people can have different opinions and still work together as one team. On its own, that is a balanced approach. The challenge is that many people are no longer looking for a balanced answer. Some critics want her to clearly say that transgender women should not compete in women's sports because they believe that protects fair competition. Others expect her to strongly support transgender inclusion and leave no room for debate. That has left Stephanie White trying to coach a basketball team while also responding to a much larger public discussion taking place around the league.
That way, I think athletics is a leader in that way. We don't all have to believe the same things in order to pull together, in order to support one another. And in that way, I wish that society was a lot more like athletics. And I think that again, it's the most important thing to me is that we take care of our locker room, and as a league and as a human, from a humanity standpoint.
Then Stephanie White said, "The most important thing to me is that we take care of our locker room." That was the point she seemed to emphasize above everything else. Her focus wasn't on the protests outside the arena or the constant debate online. It was on the players inside her team. That's where the situation becomes difficult. Looking after the locker room means making sure every player feels respected and able to focus on basketball, even while the public conversation continues. At the same time, it also means managing a group of athletes who may hold different personal views on broader social issues. In any professional team, players come from different backgrounds, beliefs, and life experiences. Stephanie White's responsibility is to keep that group united, build trust, and help them compete together while the controversy continues around the team.
Things that are not necessarily commensurate with inclusivity, like how do you, as an out woman, sort of feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate. I think it's unfortunate because the brand is being used in a way that I don't think it's the people within the brand that are doing that as much. I think that social media has a big influence on that. I think, it's a very challenging time, I would say, when so much of the narrative it gets taken away in an algorithm, so to speak. And then that's what we're discussing, and that's what we're talking about.
Now this is where Stephanie White's frustration really becomes clear. She said the Fever's brand was being used in ways she doesn't believe reflect the people inside the organization. Her point was that the team's public image had taken on a life of its own online. The Indiana Fever have not officially taken a public position on this debate, and neither Caitlin Clark nor the team has led any public campaign on the issue. Yet on social media, some fans have strongly connected the Fever brand to their own opinions. This is the algorithm effect White was referring to. When large numbers of posts gain attention, they spread quickly, shaping how people view the team whether or not it reflects the organization's actual position. As a result, Stephanie White has found herself answering questions about a public narrative that she says the team itself did not create.
What's your personal stance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I don't ever believe that exclusion is an answer. I just don't. I do think, when we think about various levels of sport, various governing bodies of sport and things that go into that, like I said, I'm not educated enough at the different levels. I know growing up, I played with the boys all the time. So there weren't girl sports back then.
A biological male in WNBA?
Again, it's like, I don't know, when we talk about biological male and scientifically where we are, I think it's a totally different scenario. As I said, I'm not educated enough in terms of transgender and transitioning to give you...
Pay close attention to this part. When Stephanie White was asked directly about transgender athletes in women's sports, she said she didn't feel informed enough from a scientific or technical standpoint to give a definitive answer. It was a cautious response that acknowledged the limits of her own expertise. Questions like these involve science, fairness, policy, and many other factors that extend well beyond basketball. But she was clear on one point. She said she does not believe exclusion is the answer. That became the position she was willing to state publicly. She did not claim to have every answer, nor did she take a firm position on every part of the debate. Instead, she emphasized inclusion while admitting there are areas where she is not an expert. As a result, people on both sides criticized her comments, while Stephanie White remained focused on coaching her team.
Distracting from that?
There is a frustration, of course, because we want to talk about basketball, and we want to continue to work on our game, and we want to continue to grow as a team. But I also understand, like, this is part of our growth edge as a league, right? It's part of our growth edge as a league, and we have to be able to manage. We have to be able to insulate as much as we can, and then we have to be able to lead with conversation.
This is where you can almost hear the frustration in Stephanie White's voice. She admitted that the team wants to be talking about basketball instead. The Fever have been playing well, building chemistry, and pushing toward the playoffs, yet many press conferences keep shifting to questions about social issues, protests, and online controversy. Post-game discussions that could focus on the game often become conversations about topics far beyond basketball. White also suggested this is part of the league's growing pains. The WNBA has attracted millions of new fans, many drawn in by Caitlin Clark and the recent surge in attention. Those fans come from many different backgrounds and bring a wide range of opinions with them. As the audience becomes more diverse, the league faces the challenge of balancing its long-standing identity while connecting with a much broader fan base.
Last night, this was not going to end well for Stephanie White. And I'm here to tell you, the internet will give it, and they will damn sure take it away, man. Stephanie White has found herself in a pickle of a lifetime, bro. People is now saying she has basically abandoned Sophie Cunningham. And pretty much she's not standing with her. She's not supporting her player. She probably damn near don't even want them talking about.
This is the reaction that set everything in motion. The content creator who posted the clip clearly knew it would spark controversy. The interview was framed as a major mistake for Stephanie White, and the comment section exploded. Thousands accused White of abandoning Caitlin Clark, failing to support her players, and putting politics ahead of basketball. Others defended her, arguing she gave the only realistic answer while trying to support every player on the roster. What's interesting is the assumption that Caitlin Clark needed defending in the first place. Clark has never publicly commented on Sedona Prince or the broader debate. She has stayed completely silent, yet because she's the face of the Fever, people continue projecting their own opinions onto her. Some assume she agrees with them, while others believe her silence means something entirely different. The truth is that nobody knows what Clark thinks, and she has given no indication that she wants to enter the debate. After seeing how every word from Stephanie White was dissected online, it's understandable why she has remained quiet. That is what makes White's position especially difficult. She has spent decades in a league that has consistently promoted inclusion, while now coaching a team whose rapidly growing fan base includes people with very different viewpoints. Trying to balance those expectations while keeping the focus on basketball is an enormous challenge. Then came another claim circulating online that Stephanie White could leave if Caitlin Clark doesn't remain with the Fever after this season. That idea comes from speculation shared by content creators, not confirmed reporting. Even so, some fans continue discussing it because the chance to coach a generational talent like Caitlin Clark is a rare opportunity for any coach. Coaching a player like Caitlin Clark is a rare opportunity. It's the chance to compete for championships, be part of a historic era, and build a lasting legacy. But it also brings an unmatched level of attention. Every press conference is analyzed, every answer becomes a headline, and every comment is debated. Across social media, Stephanie White isn't just coaching basketball, she's also managing constant public scrutiny while keeping her team united and focused. If Clark were ever to leave, much of that spotlight would naturally fade. The Fever would receive less national attention, and White could spend more time concentrating on player development, game plans, and winning basketball games. Still, walking away from a player of Clark's caliber would be an enormous decision. Coaches don't often get the chance to lead a generational talent, and those opportunities are difficult to replace. That's why speculation about White's future remains just that, speculation. What this situation really shows is how much pressure now surrounds the Indiana Fever. As the WNBA continues to grow, coaches and players are facing more media attention, bigger audiences, and tougher questions than ever before. The league is expanding rapidly, bringing in fans from many different backgrounds and perspectives, which naturally creates new challenges. Finding the right balance between the league's identity, its players, and its growing fan base won't be easy. Stephanie White's press conference reflected that reality. She chose a measured response, acknowledged the complexity of the discussion, and kept her focus on leading her team. Whether people agreed with her or not, the reaction showed how difficult it has become for coaches to navigate conversations that reach far beyond the game itself.